Welcome back to the Stephen Knight Show. Our next guest is a talented singer-songwriter who released her latest single, Prophet of Man. Now, the highly anticipated release follows the success of her previous single, Strong Connectionl, which has earned her a growth in fan base and critical acclaim. Please help me welcome the very talented K-Soul. Welcome to the show.
Hi, thanks for having me.
Thank you for joining us. I was reading up on you, and you've done some great things already. But tell everyone who hasn't heard about you a little bit about your background.
So I am from Chicago. I was raised by my grandmother. Yep, Chi-Town. I've been singing pretty much all my life, writing, being in choir, band. I probably started writing original music when I was like 11 years old.
Mm-hmm.
So it's always been something that's a part of my life. And I've been doing it professionally for about the last 10 years.
Wow. Who were some of your influences coming up?
Definitely my all-time favorite, Whitney Houston. You know, I love Lauryn Hill. I love old school hip hop like LL Cool J, Boyz II Men. So, you know, a wide range of music that I love.
And I know artists, you know, when we start out, sometimes we have a hard time figuring out what our sound's going to be. How did you determine what you wanted your sound to be?
Oh, it was definitely trial and error.
You
know, a lot of people wanted to, you know, put me in a certain box. Oh, you should be more like a Aretha Franklin sound or big ballads or, you know, so it took me a while. It took me a few releases to really get, you know, what felt right to me.
Right. And I know you've had at least 3 albums out. I know you had an EP last year, but you had at least 3 albums out. When you listen to some of your earlier work, what do you think you listen to it? Do you hear the growth? Do you feel like at that time that represented me? How do you feel?
I definitely feel like I hear the growth. Sometimes I listen and be like, now, why did you put that out like that? But, you know, I think that's good. You know, I like for people, if they do go back and listen to old stuff, to be able to see it is a process. It is continuing to grow. So I appreciate having those markers to kind of gauge where I am right now.
Absolutely. And I also read you are also a full-figure model. And last year, your full-figure model industry award for Entertainer of the Year. Tell us about your modeling.
Oh my gosh, yes, that was an honor. Shout out to the Full Figure Industry Awards, Queen Magazine. It's always been something that I wanted to do. I've always been a fuller figure woman, even as a girl growing up. And, you know, back then, you know, now it's a lot more representation, but back then it really wasn't. So I always felt like, man, it would be cool if I could represent for girls who look like me and show them that they can be beautiful too. So, you know, I've had some really cool opportunities. I've modeled in Chicago Fashion Week. I've modeled for Avenue, which is a national plus size brand. So it's just been something that has really gone along with fashion, which is a part of my passion anyway.
Absolutely. And I heard you're an aspiring actress as well. What do you want to do with acting? Do you have any plans or what is your goal?
You know, the acting piece was something that I've just always loved. When I was younger, I was in like drama clubs or plays at church. I've done some extra work. I know you probably heard of Kingdom Business. So I'll be on the next season of that, doing some background work. I think for me, it's just an extension of being an entertainer. Because even when you're recording a song, you know, I'm a storyteller. So I take on, you know, whatever character I need to be to tell that story and kind of get into that pocket. So I feel like the acting piece is something that just kind of further my passion and goes hand in hand with the music and the fashion.
Absolutely. Well, your music. So tell us, what is your process when it comes to creating your music? Like now that you've been doing it professionally for over 10 years, what is your process for creating a new project or a new record?
I do a lot of demoing. I have my home studio set up, so I do a lot of demo. I find that one that helps me, you know, just kind of make sure my vocals and, you know, my writing, my cadence, it's a way for me to practice. And from there, then, you know, I may listen to it or let my label head listen to it and like, okay, do we think this is something that we want to move forward into a single or being a part of the project, and just kind of work there and kind of go song by song, however I'm feeling it.
Absolutely. Well, as I mentioned last year, you released your EP, Connections. Tell us all about the inspiration behind that project. And I know he had a lot of streams on there. Yeah, like this is earlier this year, you had over 50,000. So tell us, about your inspiration behind that project.
Connections was a project that was all about the connections we have with ourselves and with others. It comes after my last album, In My Mind, which was an album where I wanted to be more vulnerable and encourage people that even if they were going through, a dark space or something like that, that they could come out of it, that there could still be beauty even in those broken spaces.
Yeah.
And Connections was like bringing it all together, because once we kind of deal with some of those emotions and feelings and things that can take us to those places, I think we also have to examine the connections, the people, the habits that we have, and how that also attributes to how we deal with ourselves and our lives. And so I wanted to be conceptualized because I thought that would be challenging to kind of write songs that were all connected. So it was really fun and something that I felt kind of pulled the stories together from my previous work.
Absolutely. And so when you received the praise and accolades and the amount of support behind it, were you, because this was a different type of project for you, what did you feel like when you received that feedback?
It's still unreal, honestly. Artists, as they say, we're sensitive about our stuff.
Yeah.
And because I was also trying something new musically as well, and I was nervous, honestly. I'm like, oh my gosh, what if people think it sucks or they don't get it, or so. It's been really great to just get that positive feedback from so many different places. You never do it for that, but let's be real. It always feels good when your audience accepts and kind of validates what you're trying to do.
Absolutely. Well, let's talk about the new single. It's called Prophet of Man. Tell us all about it.
Prophet of Man came from a place of wanting to address where I feel the world is today.
Yeah.
We see, especially with social media, so much clout chasing. So many people I feel are willing to do any and everything. It's like anything goes.
Yeah.
If you can get likes, if you can get views, do it. And, I wanted to address that because we have to be mindful of that. We can't be willing to just do anything and sell our souls. People talk about that as like this big, like the devil sitting there and you're signing off,
Right.
But it shows up in so many other ways in our lives when we're compromising our morals or our values for fame or popularity. And I wanted to kind of bring that conversation to the forefront with that record.
Absolutely. I know you've been very intentional of making your music intentional. You want to have a message, you want to have something that people can take away after listening to your music. What is it that you want your current fans and new fans to know about you as an artist?
I want them to know that when I'm coming to them, when they're hearing my songs, they're getting every piece of me. I'm arranging, I'm writing, I'm doing background vocals, I'm pouring every part of my talent, but also myself into it, and that it comes from a spiritual place. I don't sit down and be like, hey, I just want people to hear me sing.
Right.
I really try to tap into my spirituality. I pray and really try to create music that I believe and hope will help people heal and better themselves along their life's journey.
And how do you know when you're recording a record or even a full EP or album, how do you know it's done, it's ready to go out? How do you know that for yourself as an artist? Because I'm the kind of person, I'll go back, I can go back and change that, or I can go back and do that. What's your process?
I do that too. You have those songs that are sitting there, you keep going back, but that's also where a lot of my spirituality comes in.
Yeah.
you know, when it gets to a point where it's really feeling good to me and it's like, yo, yeah, I'm vibing to this, because I do feel like you have to like what you're creating too, right? You don't want to put out things that you yourself don't like. And then I just kind of trust God for the rest, because let's be real, there's a million ways to write a song.
Exactly.
We could play the same Prophet of Man track for someone and they could come up with a whole different concept. So I think it's a confidence thing too. You just have to finally decide, like, you know what? This is what I'm going to do. I'm done. Mix and master it. I want to hear it.
Right. Exactly. Exactly. So what's next for you?
I am starting the festival circuit. So I just finished performing at Multicultural Festival. I also did the Sweet Auburn Fest. I'm getting ready to go to do a Juneteenth festival in a couple of weeks. I got another show lined up in Chicago for an award show. So kind of just, performing for the summer. We're pushing Prophet of Man. It's doing really well. So I'm excited about that. I got a few other songs, kind of in my bag just in case I need them. So we haven't decided if I'm gonna put those out just yet, but I think for the summer is just pushing this single and performing and just trying to, get out there in front of people.
Pretty much you're gonna be outside. You're gonna be outside.
Basically, we outside.
I was asking another question. What is your preference? Do you prefer performing live or creating in the studio? Or is it hand in hand?
It's definitely both.
Yeah.
I love the process. My gosh. I just love, just coming in and seeing what I can come up with. But then I also love bringing it to life on stage and, seeing people's like real-time reaction to the music. So it's really both.
Absolutely. The single is called Prophet of Man. Tell everybody where they can find out everything about you and keep up all the wonderful things you have going on.
You can keep up with me on my website, www.ksoulmusic.com. From there, you can get to me on my social. I'm really active on my Instagram at ksoulmusic, and my music is streaming on all your favorite platforms, Spotify, Apple, wherever you like to listen to your music, you can find me.
Listen, our thanks goes out to K Soul for joining us tonight. Again, her new single, Prophet of Man, is available wherever you buy your music. And for more information, you can visit our website at StephenKnightShow.com, and we will be right back after this.